Welcome to the Aligned Powerhouse, the podcast for executive women who are done leading from burnout and ready to rise from alignment. I'm your host, Dr. Brittany McGeehan, licensed psychologist, high performance and mindset coach, and guide for high achieving women who are ready to lead, live, and love without abandoning themselves. Here, we unpack the nervous system truths, mindset shifts, and emotional patterns that drive your leadership so you can build power from the inside out. Let's get into it. Alrighty, hello guys. Welcome to today's episode. Okay, I will just tell you that today is going to be short and sweet. Today I am sharing a highly tactical episode based on something that I've noticed is continuing to show up with my private clients. And I was sitting and thinking about what I wanted to share with my audience. And honestly, this one doesn't super serve an overall marketing campaign or whatever, but something that I think comes very natural for me is building systems and implementing systems. And I love to geek out on systems and behavioral change. Okay. And I think it's going to be really helpful. So y'all will have to come back and let me know, be like, yes or no. But I'm super excited. This is going to be incredibly tactical. And you've got two choices here. Okay. Your first is to go and grab your journal right now. Take some notes. We're going to aim to keep this at 15 minutes and it's just going to be super high level. Here's what you do. The second option is, stick on your headphones. Let's go for a walk together. And instead what you can do is you can go into the show notes and you can actually download the guide that I've put together, really just illustrating what it is that I'm going over. So, really what I'm hitting on today is my Sunday routine that sets me up to be this really exciting, this exciting little psychopath who has my entire life planned because I live and die by my calendar. I don't beat myself up if I fall off of the train or if I don't have it the way I want it. But I will tell you the way that I execute at the precision and level that I do is because if I am eating a meal, if I'm taking a walk, if I am reading my kids a bedtime story, chances are it's probably on the calendar because then it becomes a priority. So if you are someone who really enjoys a good system and is in a busy season of life, this episode is for you. Okay. So before we jump in really quick, I just want to thank y'all as I do every time we are together. The gift of your time and attention is not lost on me. And truly this episode came from a place of something that I'm hoping is going to serve y'all as you are also navigating through so much. Okay. So, I will say I have always had in some way, shape or form, I was introduced to time blocking when I read the book Atomic Habits, probably years ago. And I've been doing it ever since, right? When I was getting my PhD, that's probably where I started, was when I was in grad school getting my PhD. And shout out to anyone who knows this container of life, who has been in this season of life. You understand that there is just literally not enough time in the day. And that's actually part of the game that you're playing in a PhD program is what are you going to prioritize and how are you going to get it all done, right? And as I have continued to move through life, one thing to me that is non-negotiable that is going to continue to show up is that I move through seasons. I move through seasons where I don't get to hit every single priority on my list. And sometimes I'm really killing it and I'm getting all the priorities done. And then there are some times where they start to fall by the wayside. So for me, I have a tell. And when that tell starts to show up consistently, I know that it's time to revamp my planning, my priorities, whatever it is, right? And so for me personally, that is if exercise really starts to fall off, it's the first thing that will go. Okay. In terms of priorities, I've got littles. So my priorities are keeping tiny humans alive and enjoying them while they are little. It is my marriage. It is myself, my business, right? I've got 4 really big burners that are moving here. And I would say for me personally, I've got the ability to turn it on high for 3 of those at a time. And you really have to choose how you are going to prioritize and set time and all those things. So I would say like a few months ago, I noticed that like it was getting really hard for me to get some kind of workout and exercise in. Like walking is pretty easy for me, but getting some kind of strength exercise in. So at that point, that's when I like hired my nutritionist and started working with him because he really takes a holistic approach. I love working with him. But I was still noticing that I was struggling to get all of this done. Okay. So what I'm giving you a deep dive into today is basically what my Sunday mornings look like at this point, to really set myself up for success. And all of this is very like behavioral driven. So essentially every Sunday before 8 a.m., while the house is still quiet, I am drinking my coffee at 5 a.m. and I am building out my week. So I'm not doing this because I'm obsessed with like productivity, although I love results. And I'm not doing it because I know that I have to like get these things done, right? Like I am sitting and time blocking my week, which for the most part is already timed out, but I'm adding in these additional segments because my executive functioning, so my ability to think forward and think through details, it's like one of the first things that go whenever my nervous system starts to get taxed. So I'm really just loving on Tuesday, Brittany, or Wednesday evening, Brittany, who is freaking exhausted. Okay. So let's jump in here. And what I will say is that chaos and reactivity is costing us way more than we realize. I will say like time blocking at the level within which, or like planning to the level within which I'm about to jump into, it is not sexy. It's not cute. It's not fun. And the reality is that we are inundated. Oh my gosh, we are so overstimulated in this world right now between social media, between business pressure, between all of these different things. Like I have been asked literally in just the last 2 months, hey, what are your business goals this year? And what I keep saying time and time again is that I just want to continue to steadily grow and step into my purpose. And that's not cute or fun or like revenue driven. But there's not a big revenue goal for me right now. My goal is to continue to develop this business the way it's meant to be developed and really enjoy my life outside of it. That is primarily what is driving it, right? The real life things that will move the needle forward are not cute, are not sexy. So what I do is I sit down and I will say, mornings, especially like 5:30, that's my most creative. My brain is moving when I wake up. A lot of times when I'm recording these episodes, it is in the morning before my kids are awake, before the world is awake. I think it's just like one of my favorite times of day. And my morning coffee is one of my favorite things of my day. My husband makes it for me. He brings it to me. And then I sit down and I have ideas for newsletters or content or different things I want to bring to my clients. So what I have done is I've leveraged that. So if you're taking this and you are putting it into your own practice, I want you to think about what is your time of day when you're really creative, when you really have access to the most executive functioning that you could like possibly want. Okay. That is when, especially if you're not naturally a planner, like that's what you want on your side when you sit down to plan at this level. And then I am hitting on what are the big primary driving factors of success for my season of life right now. Keep in mind, I am a business owner. I am essentially a service delivery provider, right? My business runs on me providing a service. I am also a human being who needs to take care of herself. I am in a marriage that I think is a lot of fun and I like really enjoy who I'm married to. I'm a mother. Like my season of life is going to look different than yours, but there are some driving primary factors here that are going to set me up for success. So my first category that I was focusing on, and my rule was you don't get to move on to the fun business stuff because to me, business is a lot of fun. You don't get to move into that until you hit these other 4 categories. So first and foremost is movement. Subcategories in here are workouts, so strength exercises. Honestly, right now I'm shooting for 2 because I'm really building myself back up in this category. And so I want to set myself up for success. Saying that I need to get 5 workouts in a week is literally just not going to happen. And then I'm going to feel bad about myself. Like, we're just not doing it. Right now we're shooting for 2. Walks, and really focusing on like regulation before I move into different areas of life, right? But like, so here's the thing. I literally pull up my calendar that is full of client meetings, that is full of revenue driving activities, different like coffees, like coffee dates, whatever it is, right? All of which I limit. So I only do 2 coffee dates a month. I only am talking to like potential clients probably 2 to 3 times a month tops. And once those things are capped out, I don't schedule anymore. And I looked at the next month. But I'm going in and saying, okay, Monday's a really long day. Most of my stuff is focused in the morning. Therefore, I need to be ready to get my walk in, when it's 1,000,000 degrees outside because it's going to be hot. Or I need to wake up at the butt crack of dawn, at 4:00 and go get my walk in then, or I'm going to use a walking pad this day, but I'm just sort of playing it out in my mind. Okay. Second category is food, meals, and meal prep. Now, this one really shifts in our life depending on the level of support that we have. So we go in and out of home management services for our family in particular. Sometimes this means we're getting support with meals, and other times it means that we're using our money other places and we are primarily cooking. So I have a pretty set schedule in terms of I plan my groceries on Monday. I pick them up on Wednesday because that's the day that I'm at the park and I'm next to the grocery store with the kids. But I'm also and I will say most of my meals are like set on repeat, especially because I'm trying to add in more strength exercises. I knew that was going to take more of my cognitive resources. So I make everything else super easy. So this is not true for us all of the time. This is literally for like, if you're in a season of sort of rebuilding, right? I eat the exact same thing for breakfast. I eat the exact same thing for lunch. Now, this doesn't work for everyone. I totally acknowledge that. I can like hear people being like, are you kidding me? I'm not a super big foodie. I eat for efficiency. I'm not very emotionally attached to what it is that I'm eating. And a lot of times I don't crave different things as long as I'm hitting my protein and my carbs, stuff like that. Right. So this doesn't work for everyone, but I know exactly how many cans of tuna I need and how many pickles I need to like get my lunches made. But then I'm also looking at, okay, on Monday, I'm super busy over here, but hey, Thursday, I actually have time to prep dinner throughout the day and I can cook with the kids and let's make chicken and mashed potatoes and whatever, right? I'm thinking through, when am I going to prep dinner? What time do I want to be eating dinner that day? What kind of support do I need in order to like make that happen? But also logistically, like where is this all sort of going to fit within the constraints of my week, right? Now, keep in mind, like I'm also then going and putting these things on the calendar. Okay, I'm also then going in and making sure, hey, on this day, I have to have had my breakfast, which usually is like 80 grams of protein. So it's not a light breakfast. Like I got to start working on it. I am looking at like, I need to have eaten this by 9:00, whatever it is. Okay. My point is you're planning all this out. Next category that really kind of goes into this is then outfits. What am I wearing? Now, again, this is something that's like not super sexy. I wear the same things for the most part for every single type of meeting. If I'm recording podcast, I'm probably wearing my pink vest. If I'm recording content, I'm probably wearing literally whatever I'm wearing that day. If I am meeting with a client in a one-to-one or a group call, I'm probably wearing something specific. But if I'm at the park, I also like, I have uniforms. Okay. And I am literally sitting, looking at my calendar and saying, wow, I have a lot of networking meetings this week. So I'm going to wear boom, boom, boom. And then I go and I pull them from my closet and I am hanging them up. I'm making sure that they're ready to go. And I am going to exercise these 2 days. So then I'm pulling a workout outfit out and I'm setting that out. What I'm doing is I'm making it so easy on Tuesday morning. Brittany, who doesn't want to get up and lift weights, she doesn't want to go and work on legs on Thursday. I'm making it so easy for her that it's going to feel ridiculous not doing it, right? I am really loving on that version of me. So I'm choosing the workout outfits that I'm going to go and do. And for me, it doesn't, like, I know people who do this like the night before, and I love that for them. Personally, this doesn't work for me. Evenings, I'm done. Really after 6 o'clock, whatever I've gotten done in terms of cleaning, work, whatever, like, peace out, Girl Scout. I am done by that time of day. Don't call me. And this is where my husband and I really even each other out. I'm like daytime warrior, and he will do our closing shift a lot of times, right? He will come in, make sure that like everything is sort of picked up at the end of the day, that the dishes are running, all of that. I will help throughout the day, but after 6 o'clock, don't call me. The other thing I'm looking at just for my own specific season of life is also like, what am I wearing to the park? Because chances are I'm probably not going to wear a nicer outfit to the park because it's really freaking hot. And sometimes I do, right? But not always. So at this point, we have hit on movement, food, nourishment. Am I going to need a snack this day? Right? Outfits. Next one is bedtime. I am shooting for 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. And I work very, very hard to protect that sleep like an absolute psychopath. So generally, if I can get to bed at 9 and be awake by 5, like that's sort of what I drive at. And that's the way that like I think about it, right? If I want to stay up late with my husband and watch, like right now we're watching Nobody Wants This. Oh my God, so good. Everyone talked about it when it came out and I was like, whatever, rom-com. Freaking obsessed. I love it so much. But I know that if I am going to stay up until 10 o'clock to have time with him and connect with him, then I'm going to let myself sleep in until 6 or 7 the next day. But just going in and prioritizing that sleep and thinking about it in that way is going to allow me to set myself up for success. Because then I know I'm not going to have the morning to prep before I've got kiddos, right? So I'm also literally going in and planning my bedtimes, especially if I'm working like one evening really late, then I really need to go in and like prep myself. Or if I want to be up super early one morning, right? And then the last is like, so I will say that those are my 4 categories of like, these things have to happen, because what I see happen with myself and with my clients is that we will put these things that literally are the things that keep our body running. We will, for some reason, we will put them at the bottom because that is what we have seen our parents do. And because this is the world that we live in, right? Like if you really just want to take like caregivers off the table, we live in a world that invites you to get lost in nonsense and things that don't matter. And so what was happening like 50, 60 years ago is that there was work, but then time was being spent with family and you were outside so much more, versus now you really have to plan in a very unsexy way to be able to meet these core foundational needs for yourself. So last category that I'm going in, and I actually have a running list for this category, is my revenue driving activities. Okay. So for myself, this is immediate client follow-ups. So perhaps it's setting a dinner to sit down and talk with someone who's interested in a retreat. This is following up on proposals. This is following up on outreach, conversations. These are the things that typically get put aside in business, but are the things that actually move the needle forward. Not getting lost in a million different proposals a week, or a million different pitches a week, or content, unless you're actively generating like revenue from content, in which case, like, love that, continue. But like, this is like actually how many engaged, meaningful conversations am I having and where am I scheduling those? And for me, that lives on Monday. So Monday is a revenue driver day. I do not do anything. I don't do admin. I don't do an email. I do nothing during my working hours, except for having meaningful client conversations that are driving revenue. This is how I take care of the business. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I don't think I quite met my 15-minute like goal. If you found this helpful and you also want to start implementing your Sunday like I don't know, I should come up with a fun name for it, but like your Sunday CEO planning session day, download the guide. It will be in the show notes. And let me know how it works for you. Like, is this helpful? Do you enjoy it? Are you able to implement it once you will get it all lined out on your calendar? And I will see you on the next one.
Alrighty, friend, that is all for today's episode of the Aligned Powerhouse podcast. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. And do me a favor, if this episode resonated, I want you to share it with another powerhouse woman in your life who is ready to lead and love from a place of self-trust. And don't forget to follow, subscribe, and leave a quick rating or review. It really does help more women find this work. New episodes drop every week. Until then, lead with self-trust and let yourself be seen.